Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Welcome back to Ayrshire Insights with me, Elliot Boyce, and this week we really have the definition of a local legend. This Irvine man has devoted over 25 years of his life to volunteering and has helped raise hundreds of thousands of pounds for Cancer Research UK. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome this week's local legend, Derek Thomson. Derek, a massive thanks for coming on the show today.
Morning, Elliot. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So before we find out about how it all started, we want to know more about you. So first of all, what are you? Tea or coffee?
Got to be coffee.
Brown or tomato sauce?
See, as I'm getting older, it used to be red, but I'm kind of getting a brown guy now.
Runny egg or hard egg?
Got to be runny.
And coming up, we're going to hear about the early days of Derek and what drove him to devote so much of his time to charity.
Tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. for Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Only on Now Ayrshire Radio.
So, Derek, where did you grow up?
I'm born and bred in Dalrymple Drive in sunny Irvine in the Shire.
And still there?
Still there, yes.
Fantastic. What jobs have you had over the years?
So, I worked for Pretty Polly, who I was gifted that job by John Bowden. Then I moved to Adam Cunningham, and now I work for a Japanese company who own Molton Brown and John Frieda, etc. So
fantastic. Now, you mentioned John Bowden. Turns out he's actually my stepdad, but also a good friend of yours.
Well, I now sell hair products, but still used to John, you know.
The boys, Harry and Josh, would love you. They love a bit of banter. But
Yeah.
They the lack of hair in this place. Now, have you got any kids?
I've got Darren and Adrian.
Fantastic. Now, having kids, growing up in Irvine, Dalrymple Drive, still being there, what first inspired you to kind of start volunteering and get involved all those years ago?
So, never ever thought about volunteering at all. It's one of the things you don't. It's hard to get good volunteers, but it was one Sunday. My daughter, she must have been about 10 or 11, and she said to me, "Can you drop me off at the Magnum because I'm doing Race for Life?" And I'm thinking, never heard that. Race for Life. She all dressed in pink. So I love my motorbikes and go out on a Sunday. However, drove her down to the Magnum, couldn't get out of the car park, and it was surrounded with all these women. So I decided to stay for the afternoon, and they needed volunteers to help dish out the water in the meadow. So I pulled on my volunteer t-shirt for the first time and never looked back.
Fantastic. Now, clearly you've devoted your time to Cancer Research UK specifically. Was there a personal experience that motivated your focus specifically on Cancer Research UK or cancer charities as a whole?
Yeah, I think back in the day when I was young, I lost my mum at 54. She was a Sophia Thompson. She was a yoga teacher, but I didn't at that time. It didn't motivate me to do anything. I think the Race for Life, actually seeing it down at the Magnum, seeing all these people with such a cause of devotion, I thought that inspired me. So yeah.
Now, fantastic. Right, we're going to talk about the big wins and understand how you balance work and family life with years of volunteering just after this.
This is the Ayrshire Insights Podcast with Elliot Boyce.
Now, we've heard about the early days. Now let's talk about your volunteering journey. So over the past 25 years, what achievement are you most proud of?
Possibly setting up Relay for Life Ayrshire.
Fantastic. Now, talk a little bit more about that event.
So, Relay for Life Ayrshire happened by pure accident because I've been part of the events team for Cancer Research, putting on Pretty Muddy, Race for Life and the Shine event. And after COVID, I was due to get married to a lovely girl called Lynn Martin, and she passed away with cancer. So my time with Cancer Research then, I thought, was over. But as it happened, I had a really, really good manager, Susan Johnson. She put her arms around me. She says, "Come on, let's get back into it." So she asked me to do Relay for Life, and I thought, no, it's far too much a challenge. But I had so many people around about me, and we pulled it off. In the past 2 years, we've got about 155,000.
Absolutely amazing, Derek, and something that it clearly a massive personal impact to you, and being able to rally together and you see, I mean, I was involved with it myself. You see the whole committee round about you, and everybody's got the common goal, and it's to bring that event and to raise as much money as you can together. A fantastic total, nearly £155,000 just off 2 events. Now, talking about you in general, do you have any idea, like a rough idea of how much you've helped raise in total, just even over the years of volunteering?
No, I really don't think about that, because I think about what my family's been through and a lot of other families. So I think when we do the events, even do collections in Tesco's, it's just that if we can raise something that goes to the Scottish Institute, formerly known as the Beatson, and it helps one family not go through what we've done, we've nailed it, we've nailed it.
Absolutely. And it's such a terrible disease and affects so many people. Probably most people, if not all, listening to the show have had some impact, whether it's directly in family or through third party with cancer. So talking about what you do, and obviously your drive is clearly to do what you can to help with the research of cancer and to try and make it a thing of the past. What kind of impact have you seen your efforts make in local community?
It's a tough one. I think when you hear so I've got it. So I think when we do fundraising, again, it's normally in Tesco's, because they've helped us massively with fundraising, and you get the people who come up to me and put money in the tin and say, "I'm a survivor. I'm 10 years. I've had this. I've had that. My husband's there, and we're survivors." I think then that just puts a bounce in your stride, and there was one woman in Aberdeen. She came up and gave me £100 cash, and she says, "I'm a survivor and thank you so much." And you think to yourself, man, this is what it's all about,
Absolutely. And everybody been affected by it. I mean, the one thing that's really memorable for me on the Relay for Life is the survivors lap. Right at the very start, you've got the bagpipes playing, you've got all these people of all different ages walking, wheeling, whatever they're capable of doing, going round that relay and going round the track and giving that effort. It's a heart-warming moment to see everybody come together, and I think you need to be so proud. I know yourself, your son Darren, the rest of the committee, and just what they've achieved. It's a huge bit of piece of work putting that together, but what a fantastic achievement. Now, talking more about you, and we like to have a little bit of lightheartedness as well on it. So, has there been any funny or unexpected moments during your volunteering journey that just catch you out? Because I know that you're not the most, in terms of what you wear to events, you're very out there. You're the man that runs about with the pink tutu on, and it's probably become a staple of who you are in your journey. But what's some of the funny and unexpected moments that you've had during your time in volunteering? There's really there's so many, but I think one of the best things was, and again, thanks to yourself, because you put together all the sound, the stage, and it meant we didn't need to do that. So the very first relay, if anyone was there in Kilmarnock, the Ayrshire Athletic Arena, which they gave us that venue for nothing. So Sunday morning about 8 o'clock, Elliot rolls in his car. And I didn't. Everybody was camping, by the way.
Everybody was camping.
I didn't. I had to go home for a sleep.
The music was on very sombre all night, so people are trying to wake up with probably a few bottles of Prosecco in the tent. So Elliot decides to play Thunderstruck. Now, it's,
I think it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was a full blast.
Yeah, so that was when we get most of the complaints,
Don't change the habit of a lifetime.
Jenna from the event site, she was sleeping inside. She came up, she says, "Elliot, get him to cut that music." By that time, it was all done. So, yes,
just happens to be a 4.5 minute song or something like that.
I know.
We got to the end.
So then you've made that the the kind of the anthem now for it. So I think of all the volunteering, that has got to be the bit which, when you hear Thunderstruck, you think,
we're ready to go.
I remember spending the time all night.
Fantastic. Now, what would you say has been the biggest challenge in keeping the momentum going over the 25 years? So obviously you've been involved, you've been doing stuff for that length of time. What was your biggest challenge in keeping that spirit and fight going?
So having a great committee. Our committee's like family and friends. Anybody can join the committee through Facebook. You become our friends, and it's like you can be in the committee and you maybe only do one thing, but it doesn't matter. The committee's there, you can do as much or as little, and it's seen as working to a goal, and then putting on an event of such, is it magnitude you could call it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's huge to do that, but it takes everybody to do a wee bit. So, and I think it inspires me when we get the the meetings and the chat go and how everybody's got all these ideas, and you think to yourself, I never thought about that, you know.
It's amazing to see, and I think what people don't realise is somebody that comes from event management experience, the sheer volume involved in bringing an event together of that scale is absolutely humongous. And if you don't have the people round about you and a number of people doing those little things, for people that all work full time, it's nearly impossible. And the big part is as well, everybody doing it is doing it out of the goodness of their heart. It's all volunteering.
Yeah. And you can't always ask people to do for nothing. Like, you know, the stage and the sound, they all give us a discount, but they can't get it for nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got suppliers out there and bringing everything together, but the volunteers that work round about it and to pull it all together, that's what it's all about. Now, what lessons do you think you've learned that you'd pass on to someone just starting out? If someone's listening just now, they say, do you know what? Maybe there's an effect to them, they want to get involved, they want to do their bit, maybe start an event and do something. What sort of advice would you give to somebody in the start of their volunteering journey?
Don't be scared to ask for help. I used to go into, like, sort of, Tesco's have always been my partner. So I used to get into Tesco's and ask for space to do a charity event and feel really, really uncomfy as if it was for a personal gain. Now, when we started, really, we wanted to raise over 50,000, and I spoke to my friend Russell Houston, used to be the manager of Tesco's Irvine, and he is now Silverburn. And I says, I need to raise about 50 grand, and I was expecting him to say, no chance. He says, leave it with me. And about 2 weeks later, he come back and he says, I've got 40 stores in Tesco Group 4. And
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and they raised 55 grand alone last year.
Absolutely unbelievable. Meet his target.
And do you know, and we could have done it without Tesco's. However, they doubled the money. You know, they gave us water. So I don't want to mention Tesco's all the time, but do you know,
that was your partner.
That was our partner, and they helped us nail it.
Absolutely. Now, Russell, another fantastic guy. As you see him there, he's another one that's there for the duration of the event, supporting it. You see various Tesco teams coming to it. You also see some other supermarket teams there as well, other people coming along, and it just really is a massive part. Now, we're going to find out more about that event and what's happening soon, but we've heard about the listener's tenner bargain of the week, and up next, I'm looking for you to let me know what your bargain of the week is, plus finding out about how community spirit has helped you achieve your goal over the years.
Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire.
And now it's time to talk community charity and Ayrshire Pride. But before we do that, the listeners have been in touch and let me know their weekly bargain. So the question to you, what's your bargain of the week that you've got for a tenner or less?
I put a tenner in a poppy tin, and I got a poppy for a tenner, and I've lost it. So I need to go and get another one. So there you go. Don't know if that counts.
I wouldn't say it's a bargain, but you know, it's certainly going to another good cause.
I couldn't go and ask for another one.
No, absolutely not. Right, Derek, back to you. So, talking community, how has the Ayrshire community supported your work over the years?
They've always been there. We've done events in all different places, and they've always been there to fill our charity tins, tell the stories, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I think one of the most funny things was when I asked Russell said to me, really is going to be roasting. How are you going to hydrate your people? And I said to him, well, I was hoping you could put a couple of bottles of water in the back of your car. And he just looked at me as if to say, I've already gave you a 65-inch television, I've gave you a Nintendo Switch, what I didn't know about. So he then proceeded to donate 1,200 bottles of water to keep all the runners and and it was a Scotcher, as you know.
Yeah.
So community, they're every time we do an event, they're always there for us.
Fantastic. Now, we've been very lucky with the two events that you've put on. The weather's been cracking. And see if we're putting events on, especially in Ayrshire or Scotland as a whole, it's not as easy as that.
Yeah, I think, well, we're going to a break next year because my committee, we all have full-time jobs, and we're going to take a break. I think we've asked the people from Ayrshire, we've asked them for 2 years to donate, and it's hard to do it a third year. So the teams are tired. Some of the teams, like the Hair Garage, they've raised like £7,500, nearly 2 years in a row. you can't ask them again.
It's a lot coming through. We'll touch on what's coming up in the future next, but just touching back on community just now. Have you seen like intergenerational involvement? Younger people thinking like joining in because of older family members?
Yeah, I do many Race for Lives and Pretty Muddies, etc. I'm seeing now younger kids running with their mums and their dads, because men can now. Used to be only women, but now men and boys can join the Race for Life, Pretty Muddy. So people are going with their dads, and I'm also seeing younger volunteers coming up.
Fantastic. So no matter what you are, you're more than welcome to go and join in and get involved with the Cancer Research UK events. Now, the last one on community, and you'll see around the studio here, we've got the tagline, that local feeling. What does that local feeling actually mean to you, Derek?
So, being from Ayrshire, I'm proud to be born and bred in Ayrshire. People come to our events, they volunteer, they come along and take part. You don't know their story, they won't tell you. Some people don't want to tell you, some people are too emotional, but the community comes together, and I think Ayrshire, we're all just, no matter cancer research, we go and volunteer round the town. We'll do anything else, and it's just community spirit and charity. You really are a staple to Ayrshire, the things that you've done over the years, and looking forward to finding out what's next for you. So we're going to finish strong with a fun round and then find out what's next for Derek Thomson just after this.
Tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. for Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Only on Now Ayrshire Radio.
Now Ayrshire.
And it's now time for 5 fast ones. So Derek, I don't want you to think about it, just shout out the first answer that comes into your head. Are you ready to play 5 fast ones?
Let's go.
Favourite takeaway?
Got to be chicken pakora for volcano. There's no other one.
Song that always lifts your mood?
You Shoot Me All Night Long.
Best thing about Ayrshire?
Got to be the fresh air.
Funniest moment at one of the events?
I think the funniest moment was David McElroy wanting to light off fireworks. I wasn't going to harm.
Who plays you in the movie of your life?
I quite like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's quite handsome.
Here we go. Thanks for playing 5 fast ones. We'll be asking our guests every week to get involved. So Derek, what's next for you? Any upcoming events that you've got coming up?
Yeah, obviously planning preparation for the local Race for Life events up and down Scotland next year, and we'll be taking a year off from Relay for Life. However, we will have planning and everything going on for 2027. You'll be involved in that, I hope.
Absolutely.
We'll have a date live on Facebook pretty soon once we get everything done, and then we'll just keep on. As a team, keep on raising money and hope for the best.
So just going to plug the socials a wee bit. So you've got Facebook, CRUK, Relay for Life Ayrshire. Anybody can get involved. Go on, give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share. Keep an eye on the events. And I have to say, the events are huge, and the team here at Now Ayrshire Radio get right behind it. So it's a brilliant event. So if you can come along in 2027, you've got plenty of time. There's no excuses. Please try and come along, because they're brilliant events. And the team behind it, you've heard the story as to why. It's a lot of emotion to get through it, but by goodness, what a fantastic event. So, Derek, do you have any advice for younger generations who want to make a difference?
Just go with your heart. Do you know, whether it's the Macmillan, whether it's Cancer Research, whether it's Poppy, just start to do a wee bit of volunteering. It doesn't cost you anything. You can volunteer for 10 minutes in a charity shop.
Every little helps.
Yeah.
If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about how charities operate, what would it be?
I think they've got to be more just clear where the money goes, because people have come up to me and says, do you get paid? Where does the money go? So they've got to be more clear. Transparency, because all our money, because we are a fundraising team, gets ring fenced to the Beats in West of Scotland Cancer Centre.
Fantastic, Derek. Now, what do you want for Ayrshire's future?
I think being proud of being born on the Shire. We're a great community. Just don't destroy it. I like to see more local shops come back in, bring a bit of community to the place. You get down the high street, Ayr, Coman, there's so many empty shops. Let's even give the shops for nothing to people to try and get a bit of colour back in it.
We were actually talking earlier on in the show, so in East Ayrshire just now, they've got an initiative ongoing to help shop fronts get upgraded. There's 100% grants available, and they can view East Ayrshire Council's website to find out more of that. So there is some initiatives happening right now, specifically in East Ayrshire, where people with shops wanting to upgrade the shop front externally, then there's grants available for that. So hopefully more initiatives like that come together and it starts building the high street again and making Ayrshire back to the way it used to be. I'm sure you remember it a lot better back in your day with the way it looked and how thriving it was.
Yeah, be proud of the place. Don't throw your litter. You go along the streets, there's young kids just, there's no education, it's just to drop all the papers and that. Get stuff in the bin. Be proud of where you stay.
And look after it, and it will hopefully look after you.
Absolutely.
So Derek, any final shout outs and thanks? Who's been a massive part of your journey, and who would you like to give a big shout out to this morning?
Do you know, my son Darren, Lynn Dana, Elaine Clark, there's Andy Love, there's so many people, yourself, you know, I mean, you and your sound team, I can't remember the voice. Daniel, yeah, you made a hard event easier, if that makes sense. So my committees, there's so many names, people come out and in there, you know, I'd be here all day like thanking them, but I really, really appreciate, it's not my committee, but we're all the same. Without the committee and the teams and the passions, because you know what, we couldn't do what we do. So my heart goes out to my family and friends and everybody in the Relay team. Thank you so much for making it happen.
Derek, a massive thank you for coming on the show today. You really are a staple to Ayrshire. The things that you've done locally has been fantastic. The money that you've raised for Cancer Research UK has gone a long way and will continue to go a long way to help develop the technologies, develop the research, and hopefully one day make cancer a thing of the past. Derek Thomson from Irvine, a massive thank you for coming on the show today.
And thank you, Elliot. You need to get some cushions for this couch because I'm sitting here as if I'm watching the television, but it's a wee bit uncomfy. But yeah, I appreciate you getting the word out. Thank you so much.
Derek, thanks again.
Thank you so much.
This is the Ayrshire Insights podcast.
Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe now.